I love me some romance. Every story needs at least that romantic element. I mean, it really that's what brings a. You can have anything. You can have any genre, but it still needs. You need a romantic or love interest in that formula when it comes to storytelling, because I think a lot of us, that's our humanity. That's what we want to find love, and when we find that love, we want it to last forever. So I think that's what the beauty of Nisekoi was and especially romance manga like this, is that we want that person to pick that person because we believe that person is right for that person. You get it? When it came to Nisekoi and its ending, I think it left a lot of possibilities for all these other women that were still left behind to find romance. So of course, if you haven't seen the thumbnail right there, it is spoiler territory, but let's talk about my top 3 spin-offs that I would like to see in Nisekoi. Number 3. That is Tsugumi. I think Tsugumi was such a beautiful character. I mean, everybody had the hots. I think a lot of the community had the hots for her. She's like one of the most beautiful manga girls in the manga and anime that I've seen in a while. I mean, I was surprised that she wasn't really that much of a contender for Raku. She could cook, she could hold her own, especially when she was against Paula. I mean, she is a badass. She's a badass in her own right. Now with Tsugumi, I think her, of course, a lot of these spin-offs are gonna have to, you gotta keep the romantic aspect to it. So I would just absolutely love to see who Tsugumi would fall in love with. I mean, the whole thing about her was Raku was her first love, except, you know, it was Shige's first love, and Raku ended up loving Shige. But with Tsugumi, I mean, her finding out what love really is, because she didn't know what love was, and then finding out what it is, and was happy, and even gives thanks Raku for showing her how to love. Thinking about Tenchi Muyo kind of scenario. Tenchi Muyo also had some powers and had some abilities, had some threats with villains and stuff. With Tsugumi, her story could be like that, not Tenchi Muyo with the scientific aspect, the sci-fi kind of aspect to it, but more grounded, where she has to go on missions. She's doing missions. Missions sometimes almost fail. Like, you could have a lot of those aspects to it, and she could actually be falling in love with either a normal person or somebody who's in the line of her work. Sometimes she's going to have to go away from Shige and do what she needs to do. So she needs to live her life as well. And then you can also bring that in the aspect too with Tsugumi, the relationship between her and Shige. And I think a lot of fans really want to see, you know, what happens to Shige in that relationship right there, or what happened to Shige and Raku. And you could really have them come in and out of Tsugumi's manga, because they are a big factor for her. So I do like the thought of Tsugumi getting her spin-off, and I think it works for an overall more interesting spin-off and manga. I think Tsugumi is a great candidate. I mean, she has all the things she needs to take a series and run with it. My number 2 is my girl, Tachibana. Tachibana is my number 2 because Tachibana is such a fantastic joy. I mean, every page Tachibana it's a joy. I love her character. I love her enthusiasm. As one of the characters out of all the girls, I think deserves the happiness the most, because she was putting herself out there so many damn times in the manga, and she was getting rejected constantly, and she straight out tells that to Raku, tells that to Shige, like, I put myself out there and I got rejected, but I still came forward. I still was hoping Raku would love me, and that's what I love about a character, and that's why a character needs to get her due. So I think Tachibana is the type of character, especially with her family and that whole mess that's going on right there, and her health. I mean, that's interesting. If you want to play super romantic and a lot of conflict going on, you could really touch upon a little bit more of her health. And then not only that, you don't have, this is a type of character where you don't have to bring everybody in. They can have little cameos like Raku, Shige, Onodera, and all that. Overall, I think Tachibana would just be a great candidate for a spin-off manga, because like it's exactly that. It's the fact that she's trying to find somebody who's superior, or can just make her forget about Raku. And who is that out there? Who is that out there? What is her it just would be interesting to see Tachibana actually gradually falling in love with somebody else. If anybody was a bachelorette, it'd be Tachibana. Tachibana would definitely, I think she's the type where she sees a guy or she at least sees how the guy is, or maybe goes on a couple dates and just cannot find that one, and just says, you know what, you're just not for me. So who is for her? I'm hoping for in her spinoff is a protagonist that comes along and really is able to just keep up with Tachibana and her character, and really showcase like he has really have dreams and aspirations, and maybe he's striving for a goal at the same time Tachibana is trying to find a goal, and maybe they're friends at first and then they start falling in love. And I love that idea of friends first and then falling in love. Of course, Tachibana is older, maybe she's looking just for love right on the instant, maybe she's friends with this protagonist and this guy is doing his own thing, but they're together most of the time and they go through adventures and stuff, while Tachibana is maybe feeling some other guys. And I like that. I think Tachibana is the type where she needs to gradually fall in love instead of straight out fall in love, because with Raku she did do that, but with Tachibana's spinoff I think she needs to learn to gradually see that you gotta know well, she knew Raku and everything, but I think it just would work a lot with the Tachibana spinoff. So I like that idea a lot. Number 1. So number 1 is Onodera. Of course it has to be Onodera, because Onodera was right there. She was right there. She was devastated to see that Raku chose Shirage, but she was happy at the same time. Hands down, is not a hated character. A lot of people like her. I like her, which is very interesting, because a lot of times there's one girl in this type of scenario where I do not like, especially with a rivalry, but she works perfectly. She's really great character. She's sweet, wholesome, innocent. She's the girl next door, but she did accomplish her goal by talking to Raku and confessing. But yet I still feel like this character, if there was a spinoff for this character, she has so much room to grow. I think she needs to be a little bit more assertive, especially towards I don't think the ending really kind of showcased that she her kind of changing of character, especially since we only seen her make a cake for Shirage and Raku at that time span. But with this character, she was devastated. I mean, Raku, that was the love of his life for a very long time until he met Shirage. And you know, loves change. I mean, sometimes you think you're in love with somebody, but that was long ago, but you actually love this is your soulmate right here. So with Onodera, it was very devastating to see that Raku had to choose somebody, and he definitely rejected Onodera, honestly. But Onodera is a character that deserves probably this is why she's number 1. She deserves a happy ending. She loved Raku, and the fact that she really didn't bother Raku towards after the whole confession and stuff, it really makes me believe that, listen, okay, she's willing to move on. We have her little kid sister, Haru and Onodera in the manga would be absolutely hilarious. I like that. Now, previously I said Tachibana with the Shokugeki no Soma, a Soma type character. How about a Soma type character for Onodera? I would love that. I would love somebody coming in which is a big personality, knows that he's instantly kind of like really is into Onodera, and you know, Onodera just can't take that. You need a big personality for Onodera's shy and very demeanor. I think that would just so work. For Onodera, you need opposites attract, and I think Onodera's character would really shine in a spin-off manga with an opposites attract. Of course, you could have him battle. You need a conflict. You need her to weigh her options once again, and you can have an opposites attract type of situation, but you can have her also feeling somebody who is a lot like her. You have Haru already established as a character, so you can really do a lot of comedy with those two together. You could do a lot of adventures. You could do a lot of contests, and not only that, you could have those cameos, because Onodera seems like a person who really draws a lot of characters. Not only with Shirage, who she considers as one of her best friends, but with Raku as well. But you also have Ruri and Shu, and Ruri and Shu could definitely be some like the side characters in Nisekoi could really be in the Onodera spin-off, because Ruri is the best friend of Onodera, and just there's so much potential. Onodera has so much room to grow, like I said, and she has a lot of pieces already in place that you could really make something really special. So I hope with Onodera, if they do make a spin-off, I hope they really do have my idea of a very outspoken, very enthusiastic, like a Ryoko to her Tenchi, like Onodera is the Tenchi, and whoever this is the Ryoko. But I would love to see a Soma type character come in who knows how to cook, who's one of the best, who has goals in mind. Of course, I said that for Tachibana as well, but for Tachibana, I would like actually anybody really who she could gradually fall in love with. With Onodera, I want somebody to put her in out of her comfort zone, but yet she still feels comfortable expressing herself with this character. I want to thank you guys for listening. I mean, that is my Nisekoi top 3 spin-off candidates. I would love to see all 3 of these girls get their own spin-off. Of course, you could do Ruri and Shu. I know a lot of people would love to see that happen as well. But when it came to me, I want to see these girls have a happy ending. I know Ruri and Shu already had a happy ending. Let's get these girls to have a happy ending. And who knows, maybe we'll have a manga just focusing on all the girls, which would really be awesome, who didn't have a happy ending. That could really work as well. But if I had to choose, I would like to do individuals and expand their story and really dive into what could happen. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, subscribe, like the video if you like it. Also, comment below. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. I know Nisekoi is over, but we can still talking Nisekoi. It's still left in our minds. So let's see what will happen in season 3. Let's hopefully that comes along pretty fast. I'm Dynamic. That was funny. I'm Dynamic Daniel's son, and always check out my videos and this and that. And Nisekoi, baby. Nisekoi.